What's up, everybody? Come on in, come on in. If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat. What's up, everybody? Come on. If you can. So, what's up, everybody? This is like my stream. I'm just making sure I come in and basically talk to you about certain things. As you see in the chat, the description of this the video, I'm gonna do a few things. This is gonna be, hopefully, it's gonna be a quick stream. I haven't done a stream in a while, so I just want to make sure I stream something again and explain what's gonna happen. This channel is how I'm gonna start making more videos for this channel. Streamlining some of the videos, not only doing quick 20 minutes, 10-minute video, but also focus on what I'm going to also do with the live itself. So come on in. I'm going to start talking about certain topics today, around, again, data, big data, what's going on in terms of AI, specifically data jobs, what I'm trying to do. I'm going to do something tonight quick. Hopefully I can do it quickly. If not, I'll probably continue what I'm going to do. So I recently started looking at what contents are being created in terms of jobs, in terms of AI jobs and all that. And recently, I haven't seen anybody say, okay, I'm going to apply for a 500K job online live, or I'm going to apply for a 250K job, and then during that job, talk about the mindset in terms of what it takes to apply for the job, how do you know you're qualified for the job, and then watch the progress in terms of updating people. This is what's going on with the job, and this is what's going to happen basically with the job itself. So what the plan is tonight, I'm going to show you two jobs that are worth 500K, and the base is going to be 250, 260, and the bonus structure, I'm going to show you how I'm going to predict how the bonus structure will look like based on certain numbers I'm going to basically look up. I'm not going to do the math. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to look into and how it's going to work, and tell you how all that is going to basically make the job worth 500K. So I'm going to apply for two of those jobs right now in front of you, and then over time I'm going to also then update you with emails or anything. Hey, this job refused me, or this job says I'm not qualified, or I got an interview and I'm doing the interview. This is what I do. If I get an offer, I'll basically go through that whole process with you guys, and hopefully this will tell you that even I, with experience, still get rejected, still get failures, still fail at interviews. But this is just something I want to say, hey, this is the journey I'm going. I'm going to apply for a 500K job. This is what's going to happen. Let's see how this happens. So first things first, what job am I going to apply to? So we're going to go through a quick reason what job I'm going to look into. So as you all know, I love data. Data is my life. I love data analysis, predictive analysis a lot. I love all this. This is what I do. So what I want to do now is show you. I also love the financial side, the financial sector. So I love the money side, talking about the financial sector, the finance and all that, and also talking about, I love data. And I love those two basically coming together. So what I'm going to look into is, which I'm going to show you, is one of the two major, I believe, stock investment banks I'm going to look into, and look into data jobs associated with it. I've already done it, but I'm going to show you what I'm looking into, and then I'll show you the amount of data jobs available, and you can see it too. And if you see what you like, you might apply to it. If you feel this is going to encourage you, you might start applying to it. But I'm going to show you what I see, and I'm going to show you the location I'm looking into, and the amount of money in there, and then talk about the bonus structure and all that. And hopefully this can take maybe 20 minutes to do. If it's not, 20-30 minutes to apply for the job. Then I'll basically even show you my resume, the resume I'm using to do it. Then after I'll do all the application and all that, then I'll start updating. Hey, this is what's happening. I haven't received anything yet, or I've received something. I've received an email, all that good stuff. So this is the plan for this. Then after this, after I've applied the video, then I'll start talking about some certain topics too, like the Tread, app that's produced by Meta. And everybody's talking about the subscription, but I'm looking at the jobs behind it. As millions and millions and millions of subscribers are going in Threads, what jobs are going to have to start being employed for these kind of for these subscriptions to basically keep up Thread itself? Are there going to be new jobs? I know they will. With more subscriptions means more jobs. So Thread will be looking to basically hire new people for these subscriptions. So the question is, how do you prepare for something for Thread? Because Thread is going to be one of these FAANG companies that's already associated with Instagram and all that. So how do you prepare for it? What do you need to do? And I also talking about politics coming in 2024. Everybody's talking about the politicians, but nobody's talking about the jobs associated with this. When politics comes up, the area of big data ramps up. Where do you feel you're going to see jobs in the area of big data, and when politics comes in 2024, and where you should start applying for and looking into the area? So all this will be talked about. But first, let's look in. First, I hope you guys hear me properly. Tam, what we're going to do today is basically I'm going to apply for 2 jobs. One of the jobs is going to be all of it is going to be in finance. I'm going to apply it in front of everybody today, so I'm then going to show progress, okay? And these jobs are what, 500K. After base is going to be like 260. Then based on, I'm going to also show you how to calculate the possible bonus structure from it, and how I'm doing it. I'm basing that on a 500K salary rate. And this is going to be based on certain variables like location and certain things to calculate the possible bonus structure, and then doing all that to say, okay, this is a 500K job based on all this, or even a 400K job. I'm applying for it. Then as time goes, I'm going to then keep progress, like, hey, this is what happened. I got an email from this. I did get an email from here, from JP Morgan Chase, so I got an email from this company, and they said this is this, and I'll show you the emails too. So the goal is to be transparent, that hey, I get rejected, or I might get an interview, or I might get this, and we go from there. So the goal is to give people the confidence that, hey, you can apply for a job, get rejected or not get rejected, but at least you applied for it and put that first foot forward. And I'm going to do that in front of everybody today. So that's what's going to go on today, and I'm going to do that. Hopefully it's going to take quick few minutes to look for. Normally at this time I normally apply to 10 or 15 jobs, especially JP Morgan and all that, but I'm just going to apply to 1 or 2 now. Then I might apply more later, but the goal is to show you transparency. Hey, this is what's going on in the job, in this application. And don't get me wrong, I already have a job, I have something, but this is just a show, and tell people that you can do this and put your first foot forward and go from there. So again, I decided to go into the financial sector. I think it's lucrative, and the data side is very lucrative, and the jobs in terms of the data side is highly lucrative. So I'm going to start now, and then we can go from there. Okay? Any questions? Just ask in the chat. Okay, let's look at the screen. The first job I'm looking into is from Goldman Sachs. Can you all see the screen? If you can, put a thumbs up. It's just one, or put thumbs up. But Goldman Sachs is my first application I'm looking into. So based on what I did was put data in here, search opportunities. A lot of opportunities came on in terms of data, from internal embedded data analytics, vice president, that you can see, compliance. Let me go back. Risk data, risk credit associate, Dallas. You got a lot of vice president, asset. You got asset wealth management. We got all these. There's a lot of jobs, and this is for Goldman Sachs. And data jobs, there are 333 matches. So now I'm not going to apply for 333. Nah, I'm not doing all that. That takes time. But what I'm looking for is going to be based on location, and there are over 13 locations. So my preferable location, again, this is all over the world, it's going to be United States. And this is just for data, and we're not going into there. So I'm going to go look for jobs again in Albany, New York, Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, Dallas. I don't want to go to Draper, Utah, or Florence, Kentucky. Jersey, McLean, Virginia, California, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Phoenix, Arizona. I already picked all these. So these are 323 jobs in the United States in certain cities, which you can see right here, which I already detailed. So these are the 323. So 323, these are the ones here. So now the question is, next question is job experience level, professional, which I put, narrows it down to 319. Corporate title, let's look at vice president, senior vice president, senior associate. 3. So narrows down to 170. So we're narrowing down. Job function, let's look at job function. Analytics, banking, data analytics, data governance. Let me remove all this and just leave it as it is, because I don't think I want to narrow it down. I want to just leave it as it is and see, but I think I don't want to narrow it down. 170. So let's look at 170. Rather than narrowing it down by function, we're going to narrow it down by area. There's a lot of areas in here. There's a lot of jobs. 170 jobs, a couple of, and people should start applying. That's a lot of jobs. JP Morgan and Chase. Well, let's just go down. Let's look at vice president. And when people say vice president, it's not a huge title. So let's look at vice president. Let's look at Dallas. I love Dallas. Dallas is kind of nice. Let's look at Dallas. And they normally don't give the the law in New York says now there's a law in New York that says they have to give you the pay scale, but in Dallas and all that they don't. So let's look at New York. Let's just focus on New York and vice president, and I'll tell you the ones I applied in Dallas. But let's look in New York. You have the pay scale. If you can see the pay scale, put on one that's between 178 and 250K. Salary range 178 250K. So I'm kind of the greedy bunch in here. I love that money. So if I'm going to apply for it, my mindset is if I'm going to be going to New York, I'm not going for 178. I'm going for the whole enchilada. But if they're not going to give me the whole enchilada, the whole enchilada 250, I think I'm going to be asking for 280, 290, because again, I'm greedy. But for the sake of this experiment or this view, I'm gonna say let's just go with 220. I'm gonna go with 220. I think that's not right, but I'll go with 220. But in honesty, really in honesty, if this was the max, I'll tell them, nah, can we go to 280? And if we can get $40,000 or $70,000 or $60,000 in bonus, can we go in 300? Give me $50,000 in signing bonus and give me $250 as my base pay. That's me being greedy, like, and I also have a job, so I'm not like in a rush. Like, oh, I'm going to New York. New York expensive. And I have a family, so 250K. I'll take the base pay 250K, but give me a 50K bonus, signing bonus. That's what I'm working for. If we can work with that, then I'll move up there quick. But that will be the base pay. So if the base pay is 250K, right? Now let's look at what my mindset is. Now, if the base is 250K. What is the probability of getting, because I told you it was going to be a 500K job. So the base is 250. Let's go with base 250. What is the pay bonus structure in terms of at the end of the year? What are the possible bonus payout at the end of the year? At the end of the year, what are your possible bonus payout at the end of the year? So this is what I did in order to figure out what the possible bonus is at the end of the year. So I did two things. First, I went in and I did Google. This is the first thing I did. Possible JP Morgan employee bonuses. So for JP Morgan, for the bonus, it's 36K for analysts, 57K for associates, and 68K for associates. That was because I read recently they increased that to 150 something for VPs. So let's go with 2022. They did increase it. The average annual bonus was it? No, it wasn't JP. I mean, not JP Morgan. Goldman Sachs. So pool raises back as 40-50% respectively. Let's see. The last time I saw this, it's not bankers, but I did see it, and I think I lost it. But the bonuses, the structure was like 158K for VPs. And I don't think it was a deep research I was doing. So 158K for VPs, the title VP. So the question was, how can I get a true analysis on what the bonus scale will be? Because again, 250 is your base pay, but if you get another 100, that's 350. Get another, let's get 100, then get another 50 something, that's 400. But again, you still have other bonus structures, not only the end of year bonus, but other bonus structure that are basically equivalent to almost 200 and something K. So my question was, how do I determine if that was possible? So I started doing deep dive. So I'm going to show you what the deep dive I did in terms of trying to get what the bonus structure would be. What I did was this. Let me show you my okay, what I did was this. I decided to go grab some data and use this data to calculate. I'm not going to show you the math because, again, I was told that I can't be too mathy in here. But I'm going to tell you what I did in order to get and predict the possible year-to-year my possible bonus structure if I applied to the job in Goldman Sachs. So I went in, first things first, I needed data to understand what the bonus structure will probably be. So first things first, I went to yearly earnings for Goldman Sachs. So I went from 2019 to 2022. Year to year, what were the total earnings for that? And so that was one variable in terms of trying to figure out possible to predict. This is a prediction analysis to predict the possible bonuses. So I went year to year, collected all the earnings for Goldman Sachs, went into Glassdoor and got the average bonus for certain employees. So I got 10 data points and did an average of those 10 data points and say, in 2019, you had yearly earnings, and this is the average bonus for an employee for that year. Then I went to location, another variable. So location, if it was Dallas, which I was looking for, or Chicago, Atlanta, these were their bonuses, and this was their earnings, and this is the location. Now, employee performance, since I'm not an employee, and I looked at the employee scaling, I made an assumption. If I get 5%, 10%, 20% employee, or 90%, they say you scored 90% in terms of employee performance, I basically made an assumption in terms of employee performance. So at the end of the day, what I did was a simple regression analysis. I'm not going through the math. I'm not going to do all that because, again, the math, I'm just giving you what I did. I did a regression analysis and then predicted each year for the past, using all the variables I got, then predicted in coming up year what likely, based on the quarterly reports coming out, what will be my bonus probably when I start there in the coming 2-3 years. Predicted that outcome 2-3 years. So I was doing regression analysis and predictive analysis using all that data points to predict what my bonus might be. So with all that prediction, I predicted if I stayed there 2-3 years, my bonus, if I gave myself a 90%. So if I did a 90% grade in my job, I get like 280. If I do 80%, I might get a 220. So as bonus, that's included with the salary. So that's tacked on with the salary. So if you get a 250 salary tacked on with what I did in my predictive analysis, 220 and all that, that would be your take home for a year. So I basically give myself 80% performance and the 90% performance. So 80% 220 and 90% you probably get 280. So those are the predictions I did based on the data I get. So why am I saying all this and why is this important? Because when you're trying to get a job and you're trying to do all this, you don't just jump based on the big salary they show. You have to jump on, again, living expenses, all that, and also possible income that might come out from if it's possible or not, and based on the data they did in the past. That is how I basically judge in terms of applying for a job. And that was going to be what's going to happen. So let's go back to the report and let's apply. Okay, what am I going to apply for now? What job am I looking at applying for now? So in Goldman Sachs, this is the job I'm going to apply for. I'm going to apply for a role in the vice president. To be honest, I'm going to apply for 5 or 6. The R squared, you really want me to go into this math? Oh, Jesus, this is a regression analysis. The R squared, I want to say the R squared is, again, this is all assumptions because I was assuming a lot. So the R squared, I say 80 to 90. But again, based on assumptions, I was assuming a lot of variables. So please, the variables I assumed, again, performance was an assumption. So some of the variables I assumed, but the assumptions are if I was doing a great job. So if I know my shit, I'll probably get my money right. What? So let's go. So I'm going to apply for this job. And to be honest with you, I'm going to apply after this. I'm going to apply to like 5 or 6 or 7 of these jobs. And if I get an interview in any of them or phone call interview and all that, I'll tell you what's going on. And if I don't, I'll tell you, hey, I got an email. They told me no. So let's apply for this job. I'm applying now. Agree. Let's see. So I'm going to use my existing resume. I have a lot of stuff going on here. So I use an existing resume I have. I then just fill out my legal name. Email. I really want to share my phone number, but all right. No, I'm not gonna put my whole phone number here, real phone number, because I'm doing this online live, so I'm not putting my phone number. I don't want people to start contacting me. So this is a fake number, but in my resume, the real number is there, but I'll probably change it. And please don't call that number. That number is not my number, and that. So please don't call that number. I'm gonna make sure it's. Let me just make sure it's. I'm gonna put in my real address, so so I'm just applying. Okay. Let me just start asking all these questions. Damn. Okay. Okay. The other file is to you. I mean, you're a citizen, so. If you intel, nope. Are you can contact for? Nope. Nope. Name of the latest employer. Hmm. Okay, but let me just put. My last. About. Put this on fire. Oh, just for this is. I'm gonna put this. I mean, language skills. They're doing too much. Right now I'm just gonna. Right now I'm just gonna move through it in order to not waste time. But I'm gonna go back and revamp some of these. But as you can see, it really doesn't take much time to apply for these jobs. And that's it. My resume is in there, but that's it. They will ask for a verification code, which I did get from. Hopefully, I did just get it from my email. And that's it. Applied, as you can see. Status application submitted. But to be honest, based on the jobs in here from the jobs they have in Goldman Sachs, I'm going to apply for more because I saw they have a lot of predictive analysis jobs, but I'm going to apply for it later. So data analytics, business intelligence, I'm not going to Warsaw, I'm just going to the United States. So let's just filter by United States. We'll go with Dallas. There's a lot of vice president in Dallas. Let's go with another location, New York. So I love the asset and wealth management. I think there's money in there. So these are the places I'm going to apply for some of these roles. Couple of these roles. There's a lot of roles I can apply in New York. So I'm going to apply some of these roles, and not only for Goldman Sachs, I'm going to also do it for JP Morgan. And JP Morgan has a lot of roles in there in terms of I think this is for JP Morgan. They have a lot of roles in terms of data science, machine learning, financial analyst, risk data scientist, vice president, predictive science, which I love. So there's a lot of roles and a lot of money associated with these roles. So well, yeah, these are the. So, for instance, this is a predictive science. This was just posted on the 3rd of this month, and I have to apply before the 20th. And the job is the base salary. This is just the base salary is between 163 and 260. And if you look at the qualification needed, is a master's degree in computer science, data analytics, machine learning, or related study plus 2 years experience. I have more than that, like 10, 12, 15 years experience. Requires 2 years of following Java architecture discipline. Python, I have Python experience. TensorFlow, all this is for machine learning. TensorFlow, Keras, PyTorch. Computer vision, AI, ML, convolutional neural network, that's CNN, RNN, LSTM, GRU, all that is deep learning, labeling, pre-processing software, 1 year. You can see the amount of years, it's not that much. It's like 2 years, 1 year of doing all that. And you're doing all that and you're still getting a base pay of 260. So minimum education, yes, they do require a master's degree, but believe me, a bachelor's in something, in anything, but understanding, again, AI and ML, understanding what convolutional neural network, recurrent neural network, that's RNN, is, how an LSTM is different from it's like an RNN, but it has more of a memory, a long-term and short-term memory. That's why it's called LSTM. All that is basically utilized in this predictive science job itself. So this is, if I look at it, I'm like, okay, this is asking for just 2 years and 2 years and a year, and it's doable. And what's the applications they're using, it's not that difficult. And this is 260K, the base pay. So 260, now I did, based on, again, some of the skills that were required, I did a regression analysis to predict what my bonus might be. And the bonus is attached on what I utilize to calculate the bonus is attached to the skills that were utilized in this. This might be boring for me and anybody else, but it's just something I want to show you everybody needs to do. There are a lot of jobs, and this was just posted, and I just got a thank you for applying for Goldman Sachs just right now with my email. So I'm going to apply to more of these jobs, and what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to apply to 3, 4, or 5 of these jobs for both Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. And then I'll basically come up to you and say, hey, all 10 jobs I got rejected, or I got an interview with 2, 3, 4. I got an interview with this, and during the interviews I decided I'm not taking it. I don't want to go to New York, or Dallas is not for me. Based on the pay, we didn't come up with an agreement. But I'm going to take you through that journey with me, and again, tell you what's going on in terms of what's it. So I'm going to apply for 10. I'm also tell you how I'm going to basically keep up with the application, talking to people and all that good stuff. So that's what I'm doing currently. So go through this journey with me in terms of applying. Go through this journey, see this is what I'm applying, so you too can apply and get off the seat and say, hey, if I can apply to a 260 job at a whim and just apply and see how it goes, why can't you apply? It doesn't mean I'm better than just apply to what you need to apply. If you enjoy it, apply. So this is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to apply for a job for both JP Morgan and Chase and all that good stuff. And this is the resume I'm using just in case. These are based on my job and all that good stuff. This is the resume, education, and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, this is the job and all that good stuff I'm using. I think my number's in there, but oh well. But this is the job I'm using. Now, JP Morgan. I've done JP Morgan and Chase and done all that. So that's done. I'll keep you abreast on what's going on doing that, all that stuff. So the next stuff is Twitter. And why am I so fascinated with Twitter? Because Twitter, the new app, the new Meta Thread hits 100 million users. And that is a huge achievement. And why am I saying it's a huge achievement is because this is a competitor to Thread is not a competitor to Twitter. And now the question is, what does that mean to you, me, and everybody else? I see it as an opportunity. And what kind of opportunity? I'm seeing a lot of high-paying jobs hitting the Twitter's competitor Thread. Now the question is, what kind of high-paying jobs are you expected to see within Thread? Remember, Thread is basically a mirror image of Twitter. If you look at Thread, it's just a mirror image of Twitter. Now the question is, what kind of traffic or what kind of jobs are actually being hired at Twitter? And are they going to be similar jobs in terms of Thread? And the answer is yes. And Thread is not only going to be a huge hiring platform, it's going to be a huge platform for many aspects in politics and reporting news and everything. So my question is, because recently in the news, all I've been hearing is Miss Keke Palmer's video, but nobody's talking about the amount of money that's going to be, the amount of hiring that's going to be happening in Thread, and what you need to prepare for it. Because Thread is going to also be utilizing AI and all that, and it's going to be utilizing data analytics, a lot of data analytics, because Thread right now is harvesting your data. At the end of the day, Thread is harvesting all your location data, but every part of data you utilize, it's going to utilize that data to help in terms of aspects of not only the politics that's coming on, but other aspects in terms of marketing and all that. Now the question is, Thread is now a new platform with a lot of millions of users. It's going to be a platform where marketing is going to be expected. So you're going to need people who understand data, understand analytics, understand day-to-day aspect of all this. Now the question to you is, what do you need to prepare in order to basically apply for TRED? And the answer is simple: data jobs, DevOps, big data, all that are needed. From infrastructure to data, you're going to need all that. So while I've been laughing, while people are focusing on Keke Palmer and all that, I'm focusing on how to get these jobs in TRED. I'm looking at, again, you saw me looking at JP Morgan and all that. These are lucrative jobs. 260 base pay. That's no joke. Plus 220 bonus. That's no joke either. These are a huge amount of money that's basically open to everybody and anybody. Everybody, if you go to JP Morgan and go to Goldman Sachs, I just type data, 330. You don't even need to work, and that's the United States. Certain states, based on certain states, I basically queried based on certain states and based on data, and they just gave me 330. Based on states and query and just data. Now, if you include DevOps and all that, those are more than 500 jobs. And these are jobs that pay between 168, 200. And this is not only in New York, this is Dallas, Atlanta. So my question is, why, and this is not only data science, this is analyst, financial analyst, data analyst. And I just showed you I'm going to apply for more. I'm going to apply for 10. So, and why shouldn't you apply? And the funny thing is, the title of my video is How Basic Math Helped Pay Me 150K. And yeah, basic math, basic statistics has helped me gain, when I was going through my career, paid 150K learning basic statistics. And I'm going to show you, I don't know if you can see it, but this topic, this is the 8 basic statistics concept for data science. So I'm going to show you the 2 concepts that's utilized instead of for data science, but just for data analyst. If you're a financial analyst, if you're a data analyst, if you're any kind of analyst, the only 2 out of these 8, the only two subjects you need to understand. And the subjects are central tendency and variability. And when you say, oh, what's central tendency? It's basically mean, median, mode, range, and all that. That's central tendency. That's basically giving you the location of anything. It's basically, central tendency is the location. And it's basically mean, median, mode, what you've been doing. Average, mean, median, mode. That is central tendency. And then variability is basically standard deviation, variance. And these are the two, if you understand these 2 perfectly and understand SQL and Power BI, you can walk into any job and demand a data analyst job. Just understanding SQL, these two, central tendency, variability. And it's not difficult to teach. Mean, median, mode, standard deviation, it's not difficult to teach. You guys use it every day. In Manosphere, when you argue, oh, 50,000 is the average salary of the United States, or 35,000. What do you think that average is? It's part of central tendency. When you talk about mean and median, all that, the median household income, the outliers, that, oh, these are all you, when you argue, when the Manosphere argues, and everybody argues, they argue everybody's passionate, and they use these variables to do the argument, but they don't use these same variables to apply for a job that pays them 168 to 250, which if you understand these 2 variables and understand how Tableau or Power BI and SQL works, you can go into New York, get you a 220 job, plus get you a bonus and get you a $400,000 job and sit pretty in New York. and get you a nice house. So just chill and start building wealth. As Tam will tell me in Women in Linux, 200 is the minimum, and it's the truth. I can show you. Basically, I'll show you all these jobs real quick because they think I'm lying. Let's look at an associate. Just basic database management, 148 or 180K. An associate. Just an associate, 2 years of experience in job-related software, 2 years experience utilizing object-oriented, again, SQL, non-SQL, all that. All this is wish list. Believe me, when you go in there, you're not using all of this. You will have to understand SQL, but you're not going to be coding and all that. Nah. And this pays 148 and 180 just in New York. Let's look at asset wealth management. I won't go to quantitative engineering. And these jobs have been open since, damn, May? Since May of 2023. Damn. Let's look at it. Let's look at asset and quantitative engineer. You don't Python, you don't even need all this. You're creating proprietary algorithms, and I'm sure they pay a lot of money. Let's look at it for, this is Dallas. Let's look at it for New York. And this has been, man, I should have the salary in there. 150 to 250K. Salary range in New York. This is the salary range of a quant engineer. And what do you need to understand? Programming skills, Python, understand machine learning, statistical modeling, understand mathematical and statistical concepts, statistics. What I've been telling you, statistics. Machine learning is just basic statistics. Understanding statistics. The Google Analytics course is great, but it's okay. It gives you insights in terms of data analytics, but it's okay. But yeah, these are the 6 years quantitative role. Man, please. These are the roles that pay 150, and these are roles, and they have a lot of roles. This is just a few. Asset management, economics, asset management, New York. Product manager. This is a product manager. You don't even need to be an engineer. This is a product manager. 85 to 160. Product manager. You don't need, you're not coding as a product manager. So these are the jobs. They're out here. You have associates here. And some of these jobs have been open for a minute. 159 or 180 an associate. Applied math. Again, all these jobs, again, yes, you will need to know math. These jobs, they will, if you're going to get paid $100,000 to $200,000, this is an underwriter. This job, this is an underwriter. This is Dallas. You're not going to see the job posted for Dallas, but strategies on asset wealth. New York. How much does that pay? 85 to 160. So the one without that high math background, 85, 160 is still not that bad. But if you want to do math, and these are a lot of jobs. These are jobs. And 60 open in this just for 2 locations. 60 opens for 2 locations. And I'm gonna put Texas, all of Texas. I'm not going near where Utah is. Or India. Let's go with Chicago. 75 jobs. And this is just for skill set for 1 to 5 years. a certain region, 75 jobs, and I basically filter it based on certain aspects. So if I open it up more in terms of the areas in the firm, and this is just one area, I just did one area, asset. I didn't put global banking, 129. This is again the United States, 129. I start putting in other stuff in there, more you see more jobs in there. So the question is, when people are talking about there are no jobs out here in the tech space, I say where? And are you kidding me? These are the jobs out here. And I might just forego the rest of the topics I'm speaking on because again, Twitter is going to be coming out again. They're coming in, and I showed you specifics in terms of the 8 statistics you need. But this is the most important part, I think, is this. There are jobs that pay huge amount of money. Do you need experience? Yes. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Do you need to know some stuff? Yes. If I go for an interview and they ask me, how do I do predictive analysis? I can say that because I just showed you how I do it just to predict the bonus structure using regression analysis and using certain variables. I did that. It's boring to you guys, but to me, it pays. But these are the jobs out here. I'm not worried about jobs. To be honest with you, I just got an email a couple of hours ago saying, hey, do I want to go to Tampa? We're going to pay you this amount of money. And I said, I'm not moving nowhere near Tampa or Florida. I'm good. And this is based on contacts. He just emailed me, hey, we need someone to go in Tampa ASAP. We're going to pay you this amount of money. I said, no amount of money is going to move me to Tampa. I'm good. So these are the jobs that are out here. I'm going to start applying to these jobs. So what I'm begging you is this. I'm not going to deceive you. It's work. Right now, once I'm done here, I'm going to go finish my reading and reinforcement learning and do some Python. It's 12 midnight. I'm going to do that till 2. I'm going to continue doing this, then wake up in the morning and continue what I do. But my question to you, is it worth it? Is waking up and staying till 2 in the morning worth it? Yes, it is. If you can go home with a check of 400K, 500K, it's clearly worth it. If you can clearly provide not the necessities, but provide a comfort to you and your family, why shouldn't you do it? It's not easy. I don't lie to you. It's not easy. It's difficult. And I'm not going to paint a picture that, hey, I just closed my eyes and wished upon a star and damn, I got a job. That's not how it works. So, JP Morgan and Chase, I'm going to show you Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and Chase. I'm going to tell you the jobs that I apply to. I'm going to show you my JP Morgan Chase, each page, and tell you, hey, they tell me no. Goldman Sachs says no. Well, I got an interview. I'm going to interview this. This is what happened. This is what I was told in interviews, and go from there. Am I expecting a job from any of this? I don't know. But what I know is, I think if you see that even I that have experience can fail, even they can reject me, it shouldn't be difficulties just that applying. Because that's one thing I'm seeing is people are afraid of rejection. Man, I get rejected too, but the rejection is just, okay, they're not a good fit. And I'll go to the next one now until I find that good fit that pays me what I want and a good fit. So that's the aspect of this. But my question to you is, and now one of the aspects I'm going to talk about is coming up in the next year or two, and next year is the politics. We're going into the political arena, and we're going into. I'm not talking about politics here, but I'm talking about what are the opportunities in this political arena that's coming in. Where can you see opportunities in this area? So when you say politics, my mind goes into data. How are they using data to report or predict not only the outcome, but how they're using it to manipulate or market their constituents, Republican, independent, but how does that work? And who are the people we're going to hire during this during this period. So why I'm doing this right now is to show you what jobs are available in Warner Brothers, and see, for instance, you have in the CNN. It's a huge agency, and they employ a lot of people, not only writers, but they also employ a lot of tech folks. And during this period, during the political period, you're going to see them employing a lot of people who understand data. And that's what I'm talking about. In the area of, and during this, you're going to see a huge jump in people in people like the CNN or ABC or all that start looking into the area of data. And you're looking for a technical director. I'm happy for that. Now the goal is to see where you fit in. And if they are a good place to actually pay for, they're not started hiring yet, but what I'll say is, let me okay, data. 220, but it's around the world. They have a lot of data, but it's around the world. So let's narrow it down to United States. As you can see, they have 74 data rows. They have more data rows in the United States than everywhere else, 74. And I just type data. Senior analyst, senior financial analyst in New York, financial reporting. So why am I telling you all this? Is during this participation analyst, during these political arena, if you're looking for a job, to even put your name out there, to say, hey, start looking into these kind of, hey, I'm working for CNN, Warner Bros. As an analyst. Do you know how that basically comes out if you have that name? So start looking at all this and say, hey, the political field is coming out. Can I look at an internship in CNN or this? Can I look at, or even a job as an analyst in Atlanta for analyst job? 2 years in management consult, man, please. See what I'm saying? Proficient in project management tools and data visualization, Power BI, Tableau. Develop quantitative and qualitative analysis. My friend, I'm going to tell you right now, all you're doing is exploratory data analysis. Again, using mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and all that. This can be done. This job can be done. You don't need to be specialized in all that. So these jobs, as you can see, all you need to understand is data. And they have a lot of associate merchandising analysts. So what am I saying? Start looking at rules as the political arena starts jumping and everything starts coming to a forefront. as you see more. Oh, my screen is frozen. I'm sorry. I was thinking, if my screen's on, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's still frozen. Okay. Is it still frozen? Oh, my screen is frozen. I'm sorry. But I was thinking, let me make sure. But what I was showing is the different broadcasting station, from CBS to CNN to NBC. All these individuals have data rules, and they're gonna ramp up hiring because they want to be the most accurate network that produces the accurate results. So they're going to need a lot of data folks, and they're going to also need a lot of infrastructure folks. So when, again, I'm the kind of guy, I always look at the economic sides of everything. It's not about the candidate, but about what opportunities are arising from all this. So the politics and all that, I don't care right now about the politics, because I think your local politics are more that basically gives you more. It gives getting involved in your local politics is more impactful. But in terms of the general political arena, I don't much care about it. What I care about is the opportunities that arise from it, and the opportunities are, not only looking at the news network, but also there are people that are actually going there. The Republican GOP, the Democrats, they need people who understand data to actually tell the story or try to convince in marketing analysis, trying to predict where each county or each state will fall, and what they need to use to basically sway their constituents or basically the opposing party. What do they need to do that? This is what the GOP and all that. They're going to need people who have insight in analysis in terms of data. You know what I'm saying? So the data jobs are going to be ramping up, especially now. Especially in the political arena, especially now with all this going on. You're going to see a lot of data jobs ramping up. So what am I saying? Start looking at jobs in terms of CNN, NBC. Just imagine you have in your resume, I worked in CNN as an analyst, or a political analyst, or data analyst. I was working in CNN. How you can utilize that to gain more insight into get better jobs and all that. So what I'm saying is, please start looking into jobs, and please just start learn, and apply. Don't wait for anybody. So the political arena is arising, but don't focus on the politics. Leave the politics, except in the state and local. Forget the politics. Focus on the opportunities that arise from this. Forget the politics. Forget the noise. Forget everything. While everybody's making noise, you can say, I'm capitalizing on the noise, but I'm capitalizing on this remote job in CNN that pays $160, and I'm utilizing it. I'm at home, or I'm working for CBS, remote job, analyzing data and then giving insights in terms of the politics and talking to people and making connections. I'm getting my foot in the door. Or I'm interning here as a data analyst, or I'm doing something. But utilize this period to get into that motion. Forget the politics. Close your eyes from the politics. Focus on the opportunities out there, and the opportunities are plenty. You saw JP Morgan, you saw all that. Look at CNN. I gave you 74 U.S. jobs, tech related and data related. If you go to MSNBC, you go to CBS, you go to small and big networks, even go to the newspaper. Try to figure out how you can get analyst job in there. Look at the analyst job, apply for it. Look at the data jobs, apply for it. The jobs are there. Anybody who tells you the jobs are not there don't actually know what they're talking about. There are a lot of jobs out there, and these jobs are not being filled. You've seen jobs here since May. Have not been filled since May. J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs can't fill jobs in predictive analysis since May. Some, probably, I'm sure, if you go to Walmart, there's some still open since last year. So why shouldn't you be able to fill those jobs and get paid and do stuff what you want to do? Most of the jobs, some of these jobs are remote. And people keep saying, oh, they want everybody back. But if you say, hey, I'm taking $220,000 and I'm still sitting down on my couch and doing this, and you know, in order, because it's so hard to fill that job, and you do great work in it, do you think they're going to fire you? You tell them you're not doing this, you're going to stay home and do a remote job. So I brought this up just because I need everybody to understand that this is what's going on. I showed you, I'm going to keep tabs on it. And also, I also want to talk about how this channel is going to change a little bit. So it's going to deviate a little bit. Just a little. So the topics on jobs, predictive analysis, data, and all that, live streams, I will cover that on live streams. I will make sure I have things like, oh, these are the data jobs, this is what they need, this is the quantitative analysis, this is what you need, AI, this is what's going on. I'll keep talking about that in the live streams. But I will have some videos coming out dealing with some popular topics and focusing still on the data side, but popular topics, 20-minute videos or shorts, or even shorts, but dealing with popular topics, more mainstream, catching honey, basically using honey to catch flies. So I'm going to use popular topics, but still referencing data that's at its core, but still using data, using popular topics, popular tropes. Even with the Keke Palmer stuff, I'm not going to do that because I think that's popular. That's not me. But certain videos like the affirmative action, I'm going to bring out a video soon dealing with the affirmative action and why certain narratives, which I'm going to show those narratives and show data to show, hey, is this true? So I'm going to bring certain popular topics. So again, for instance, I was trying to bring a video on why everybody's thinking Baltimore, Chicago, Detroit is now the Wild Wild West. But is it truly the Wild Wild West? Is the data really telling you it's the Wild Wild West? Or the narratives showing you that, hey, it's the Wild Wild West? Is the narrative just a snapshot of just one incident? Or is it truly the story of what's going on in there? So I'm going to bring those popular topics, but it's going to be a 20-minute video posted in. But during my lives, I'm going to be talking about jobs, talking about opportunities, and talking about eliminating noise around all these, what's going on, and focusing on what you need to focus on. So those are the stuff I'm going to... So those are the stuff I'm going to just focus on. Popular topics, but at the same time, I'm going to focus on the live stream. Will still have these in mind, where I talk of jobs, talk of eliminating noise, talk of opportunities, still keep you abreast in terms of what I'm talking about, in terms of Goldman Sachs and all that. I'm going to talk about it live stream. But the videos, it might be a little bit foolish or a little bit playful, but just know it's, at the end of the day, it's just to make sure people understand that everything is still a data-driven system, a data-driven society. And understanding how data works gives you more of an advantage on how to look at the story in the whole. So the goal is try to make sure people understand that data is important, and understanding how it works and understanding what's useful is the key. And understanding how you can basically gain advantage and gain monetary value from understanding data. So I just said I haven't done a video in a while, so I said I need to do a quick one real quick while I'm studying and doing some stuff. So again, please, you've seen what I've seen in terms of just two companies, J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs. You've seen the jobs. You might see them, might be a little bit scared or skittish and say, I'm not. Nah, please apply. They can't fill these positions, but if you have a basic understanding, then you can build yourself to the point where they say, okay, he knows that he's our go-to person. These jobs are yours to take, but understanding the basics, understanding again statistics, Python, SQL, understanding all that, but understanding your basics first, your baseline, understanding the basic statistics is key. So if there are no questions in terms of what needs to go on, I'll be taking my leave. I need to catch up on some stuff and some books. And I'll probably see you in the next couple of videos. I'm going to start posting more frequent. Also giving you more updates on some of the stuff I'm doing. But once I close now, I'm just going to apply to 10 more jobs. I think I need to go back and see some of those jobs in terms of apply to 10 more of those and go from there. But please apply for those jobs. It's out there. 260, 270. I promise you that feeling of going, that feeling of having the ability to say, look, I'm not afraid of getting canned. I'm not afraid of anything. I know what my skills are. I know how valuable my skills are. I know how difficult it is to fill this position. I know what I can do. I know what you can. That it's irreplaceable. And that comes with time, and that comes with putting your head down, and that comes with studying and learning and practicing your craft. My craft is numbers. I practice it every day. So practice yours. And get paid well for it. And that's my spiel today. I'll see you in the next one, and I'll keep you updated on the jobs I apply to. All right. Peace.